At dinner, my brother's wife raised her glass. To family, the real kind. Everyone chuckled and glanced my way. When the waiter brought the $3,650 bill, I pushed it back. Try the card under her name. She booked the table. Her smile faded. Then the manager came back with the receipt. I always knew my brother would marry someone insufferable, but I underestimated just how bold, smug, and performatively perfect she could be. Samantha came into our family like a brand new centerpiece no one asked for, and everyone suddenly decided was the best thing in the house. She's the type who posts filtered selfies after SoulCycle, tags every vacation photo with hashtag #GrinNotPlayLater, and talks about her skincare routine like it's a religious experience. And my parents, they ate it up, especially my mom. The same mom who once gave me the silent treatment for forgetting to water her plants while I was recovering from strep. Now Samantha, she could burn down the garden and my mom would find a way to blame the sun. She makes more money than anyone in the family. Well, almost anyone. I pull in a little more, but I don't broadcast it. Samantha makes sure everyone knows she's successful. She once casually mentioned her salary over brunch like she was reciting the weather. My brother, meanwhile, hasn't had a job in 8 months. He says he's waiting for the right role, which apparently means spending most mornings in sweatpants on the couch watching sports commentary videos on YouTube. So, when I offered to organize a dinner for our parents' 35th anniversary, I said I'd take care of everything. I meant the planning and the bill. A nice gift from me to them. The kind of thing you do when you're grateful and tired of being underestimated. I chose a rooftop restaurant with a view of the skyline. A set menu that included some outrageously priced truffle something or other, and personalized wine pairings. I wanted it to be perfect. It actually was perfect. Right up until Samantha clinked her glass. She stood slowly, all dramatic, held her flute of champagne like she was about to deliver a TED Talk to family, the real kind. Everyone laughed. My mom touched her heart. My dad gave one of those proud little nods. Even my brother smirked. But the worst part was what happened next. They all turned to look at me like I was the punchline. Like we all silently agreed who the fake family member was. I didn't react. Just smiled and sipped my wine. But I'd had enough. When the waiter brought the bill in a little black folder, he handed it to me with a respectful tilt. I opened it. $3,650. I paused for half a second, then pushed it slowly across the table towards Samantha. Try the card under her name. She made the reservation. She blinked, laughed like I was joking. I didn't blink. She reached for her purse, trying to keep that confident glow going, but it cracked just a little. She pulled out her MX and handed it to the waiter. My brother glanced at me confused. My mom looked down at her napkin. No one said anything. 5 minutes later, the manager returned. He smiled and thanked her for the payment, handed her the receipt, and walked off. Samantha signed it quietly. No one made a toast after that. We left the restaurant in awkward silence. My dad gave me a pat on the shoulder like I just survived something. My mom told Samantha the dessert was divine. Samantha didn't say much. Her husband, my brother, kept looking at her like he wasn't sure if he should be mad or just impressed that she didn't scream in the middle of the dining room. But I wasn't done. Not by a long shot, because what none of them knew was that I had started documenting things. The late-night whispers, the not-so-accidental insults, the way Samantha had started borrowing things from my mom's room without asking. That night, she thought losing a few thousand was the real blow. She had no idea what was coming next. After the dinner, the air at home changed. It wasn't dramatic. No shouting, no slamming doors. It was worse than that. Just tension in every corner. Quiet. Awkward. Impossible to ignore tension. The kind that makes you rethink walking into the kitchen if someone's already in there. We all live under one roof. That wasn't supposed to be permanent, but here we are. My brother and Samantha moved in while they were renovating their condo. That was over a year ago. Renovations ended 4 months ago. Their excuse now, something vague about the housing market and waiting for the right time. Translation, Samantha's making money. My brother isn't, and free rent is too good to leave behind. They've completely taken over. Samantha especially, she acts like the house is hers. She doesn't knock anymore. Not on bedroom doors, not on the bathroom, not even on the one place in the house that's supposed to be private. My mom's room. A few days after the dinner, she barged in while I was working from home and just stood there like she was expecting me to ask her how she was doing. I didn't. She leaned against the door frame and said there had been some weird charge on her card. Didn't even mention the dinner bill, but the implication was clear. I just raised an eyebrow and went back to my laptop. After a long pause, she left. The next day, I overheard her telling my mom she thought I might be going through something. My mom told me later that Samantha was concerned. Said she noticed how I'd been acting out. Right. I spent $3,650 on their anniversary, and I'm the unstable one. Then there was the scarf. My grandmother left my mom this ivory silk scarf embroidered with these tiny gold vines. I've only ever seen her take it out on special occasions, and even then, she barely touches it. One afternoon, I walk into the living room and see Samantha on the couch wearing it like it came from a clearance rack, just casually draped over her shoulder while she scrolled through her phone. I asked where she got it. She said she found it in a drawer or something. Later, I asked my mom if she lent it to her. She looked confused at first, then said maybe she did, but I could tell she wasn't sure. That's the thing. Samantha gets in people's heads. She doesn't just manipulate. She rewrites the narrative until people aren't sure if they offered or she just took. That same week, my brother cornered me by the laundry room and asked if I was proud of making his wife cry. I asked if he was proud of living rent-free while his wife swiped jewelry from our mom. He told me to stop being dramatic. Then, as he walked away, he casually asked if I could pay the Wi-Fi again this month. I almost laughed in his face. That's when I decided I was done paying for anything that didn't directly involve me. No more groceries, no more household utilities, no more splitting streaming subscriptions. If Samantha was the real family, like she said in her little toast, she could handle the real responsibilities. I printed out a list of every bill I'd covered for the past 6 months. Internet, electricity, shared car insurance, Netflix, the water delivery service my mom insisted on, and taped it to the fridge under a smiley face magnet. At the bottom, I wrote, "Effective immediately, all future expenses will be handled by Samantha." After all, she's officially part of the family. She didn't say a word to me, just ripped it off the fridge, folded it in half, and shoved it into the trash. That was 3 days ago. Since then, she's been quieter, but not in a defeated way, more like she's waiting, planning. And I've been watching, because she's careful when she thinks people are looking. But I know what I saw last night. Just after midnight, I was wide awake. The kind where you stare at the ceiling and feel your brain turning in slow circles, replaying conversations, toasts, stares, everything. So, I got up for a glass of water. I didn't turn on any lights. The hallway night light gives off enough glow, and I've walked those stairs for 20 years. Halfway down, I heard it. Not footsteps exactly, more like slow, careful movement. My parents' bedroom door was cracked open slightly, and someone was inside. I stood on the second-floor landing, hidden by the corner wall. I didn't say a word, didn't move, just listened. Then I saw her. Samantha stepped out, quiet as a cat, holding something small and metallic in her hand. Not a phone, it caught the light. She wasn't wearing shoes, just socks, and she shut the door behind her as gently as you'd close one to a nursery. Then she disappeared back into the guest room she shares with my brother. I waited motionless, not scared, but needing to be sure. After a few minutes, I went back to my room and sat staring at the wall, fully awake, heartbeat steady. This wasn't paranoia or misinterpreting things, like my mom suggests when Samantha says something backhanded and I call her out. This was real. The next morning at breakfast, I watched Samantha make a smoothie while my mom sipped her coffee. Everything looked normal. Dad had already gone for his walk. My brother was asleep. Then mid-sentence, Mom frowned and said she couldn't find her bracelet, the one from that trip to Italy, a delicate gold chain with tiny sapphires. She always keeps it in the same place, wrapped in a handkerchief in the top drawer. Samantha didn't flinch, just said maybe it rolled behind the dresser, then added that she once lost a ring for weeks, and it turned up in a shoe. She laughed. Mom nodded. They went back to talking about flights to Seattle. I said nothing, just watched her. That afternoon, when the house was quiet, I went into the upstairs bathroom. Samantha had left her makeup bag on the counter, unzipped. I don't know what I expected, but I opened it anyway. Tucked in the side pocket under brushes and lipsticks was a small bundle of white fabric. I pulled it out just enough to see the edge of gold chain, Mom's bracelet. I stood there in silence, looking at it like it was radioactive. I didn't touch it again, just slid it back, zipped the bag, and walked out. I had every right to storm downstairs and confront her. But I knew how it'd play out. I'd be accused of snooping, violating privacy, stirring the pot again. They'd say she didn't steal it. She probably borrowed it and forgot. Mom would say it wasn't a big deal. My brother would jump in, say I was upset about the bills. Samantha would look at me with that calm smile and let them defend her. So, I gave her a chance. I wrote a note. No name, no threats. You have until tonight to return what doesn't belong to you quietly, or I'll speak up. I slipped it under their bedroom door before work. When I got home, the house smelled like rosemary chicken. Samantha was in the kitchen helping Mom set the table. She smiled at me like she'd been waiting, like nothing happened. I went upstairs, heart pounding, and checked Mom's drawer. Still empty. She didn't return it. No apology, no explanation. That night, I went to bed with a decision made. I wasn't waiting for them to believe me or for her to mess up. I was going to make this real for her. She wanted to play it like a game. I'd remind her what happens when you cross someone underestimated for too long. She had no idea what I was about to do next. I wasn't sleeping anymore, not from guilt. I'd done nothing wrong, but because Samantha was too calm, too smug. She walked around humming like she'd gotten a promotion instead of being caught sneaking jewelry. I couldn't eat or focus at work. All I thought about was that night, her slipping out with the bracelet. I needed it over. I needed my parents to see her for what she was. So, I waited for Sunday family dinner. Everyone was there, Dad at the head, sipping red wine, Mom pulling lasagna from the oven, my brother, freshly shaved, helping set the table. Samantha showed up in a soft blue sweater, wearing Mom's pearl earrings. Not similar, the earrings. That's when I knew she wasn't careless. She was daring me. I came downstairs with the black velvet box, placed it on the table, opened it, and said nothing. Inside was the bracelet. Mom froze mid-step. Her face changed, the look of recognizing something vital. She picked it up, held it like it might vanish, and said she thought it had been gone forever. Dad looked up from his plate. My brother frowned. Samantha didn't react, just sipped her water. I told them exactly where I found it. Upstairs in the bathroom, inside her makeup bag. My brother muttered I shouldn't have snooped. Samantha looked up, said she knew something like this was coming, that she'd felt watched all week. Then she accused me of planting it, right there at the table. Said she'd seen me upstairs near their room earlier. I never go up there. Said the photo I took, printed, and placed next to the box was too convenient. Then the dagger. She looked at my parents and said, maybe this wasn't about the bracelet. Maybe I was acting out because I was jealous of my life, your brother, my job, my place in this family. I waited for someone to speak. Dad stared at his glass. Mom looked like she was doing math in her head. Then my brother stood. We're done here. He took the box and photo, threw them in the trash, said I'd ruined dinner. Samantha followed him out, touching his arm like soothing a dog after fireworks. I sat there. Mom cleared plates in silence, not looking at me. No one did, until 20 minutes later. She came back with a small red box I'd never seen. Opened it slowly. Inside was the same bracelet, or what I thought was. She explained, after losing the original years ago, Dad surprised her with a replacement. He never told me. The one Samantha took, the one I found, was the backup. Suddenly, everything I'd said, everything I'd built, collapsed. Mom didn't accuse me, but didn't defend me either. Dad chewed silently, like it was too late for opinions. Worst, Samantha came downstairs with wine, asked if anyone wanted another glass, like nothing happened. That night, I lay staring at the ceiling again. Not defeated, but because I realized something important. Samantha was manipulative, careful, and a strategist. She'd always been ahead. But I had copied her work laptop weeks earlier when she left it unlocked. Not emails, but her personal folder, receipts, and a secret side project funneling thousands into a PayPal under another name. At dinner, she thought she'd buried me when Mom opened the red box with the original bracelet. Samantha smiled smugly, called Mom Mama again, and acted like she'd won. My brother ignored the drama, job hunting casually. But I remembered her guilty look finding the bracelet in her bag. 3 weeks prior, I'd glimpsed her consulting client's folder, copied it to a flash drive. It revealed her freelancing for a competitor, tax-free earnings, and an exit plan. Sell condo, drain accounts, save 6 figures, leave with car and dog. My brother? Labeled non-contributing. With the house empty, I confronted her with printouts. She stayed calm for 12 seconds, then asked where I got them. I said I had everything backed up, ready to send to HR and family. I demanded she leave quietly within a week. I'd stay silent. She walked out without a word. Next morning, she was gone. Mom said she went to Phoenix. 5 quiet days followed. Then Friday, she was back, sipping tea. We should talk. She placed a flash drive down. She'd copied my drive, read my notes, journal, everything. You were never the threat, Paige. Just practice. She hummed upstairs, in control. I packed quietly, no drama, just zipper sounds, and moved to a dim one-bedroom across town. Sign lease done. 3 days later, I emailed the house. No more utilities, bills transferred/canceled. Attached receipts. Added, if Samantha's family now, let her carry the weight. Her reply, wow, so this is who you really are. I blocked her. 2 weeks of expected echoes. Then Dad called for tax docs. House felt tense. Dim lights, unpaid bills. Upstairs, Mom and Samantha argued. You said you'd cover it. Paige was right. Samantha's voice cracked. Slam. Silence. I left unheard. Mom called next, voice tired. Missed me. I think we made a mistake. Saw Samantha listing the condo for sale. She was leaving, not on her terms. The house wasn't hers. I'd taken peace, privacy, self-respect. This time, I wasn't looking back.